So here is a list of all the things that you need to attach to that email, and I'm going to go through each one of them and explain which one is optional, which one is mandatory, and what that means, because it might be optional now, but you still need to do it at a later date. Okay, so for the email that you're going to send to the tenant for the beginning of the tenancy, you need to send them the tenancy agreement unless they already have it. So if you've signed it online, probably they already have it, which means it's nice if you attach it, but it's not mandatory. Okay, and the second thing you need to attach is the 3 certificates. This is mandatory because you cannot evict using Section 21 if you do not have these certificates and if you did not send this to your tenants. Basically, Section 21 is still valid right now. The government is planning to abolish it, but at this date we can still use it if you have provided these to the tenant and if you are renting everything and you're doing everything legally. Okay, yeah, so that's why you need a certificate. You need to make sure they're not expired. So maybe you want to provide them with a link to a place where you update the certificates instead of sending them the certificates attached to the email, but that is up to you. We would also do that for you. So if you work through a property management platform, the tenants will have a link where they can find all the certificates, and whenever they click on the link they will see the most up-to-date certificates, not the ones they had at the beginning of the tenancy. Okay, and the third thing you need to attach to the email is a how to rent booklet. The how to rent booklet is provided by the government. I will attach a copy of that booklet to this section, and the purpose of that is to make the tenants aware of the rights they have in the UK, because there's a lot of people who come from other countries, and as you know, the UK is one of the most highly regulated countries when it comes to renting property. So tenants are not used to, and they're not aware, and they do not know the legislation and the rights. So the government is trying to prevent you from treating them unlawfully by making it mandatory for you to send them this booklet where they are aware of the rights they have in your property and how the eviction process should be conducted and how the notice should be given and all of those things. Of course, it doesn't mean they're going to guarantee that the tenants are going to read the booklet, but that is the purpose of it. So I'm going to attach it so you can send that along to your email if you want to do it. Otherwise, if you do it through a platform like the one we're going to have, everything's going to be automatic and they're going to get this one as well. So you don't need to save it and send it. We are going to do it for you. Okay, and the depositor certificate. This is optional, but only at this stage, which means that you've just received your certificate your deposit money last week, maybe, or a few days ago. Now, from the moment you receive that money, you have about 30 days to deposit it into a deposit protection scheme. If you haven't done it so far, you are not going to have the certificate. But I would say it's easier for you to just, if you're going to do this by yourself, it's easier for you to just do the deposit right away and then attach that as well to this email, so you don't have to send another email with the certificate. Okay, and the last thing that you might or might not have is the inventory, and that is also optional, but it would be really nice if you had one, and let me explain why. The deposit protection schemes do not require you to have an inventory. That's why I'm saying it's optional. But if you care about your furniture and your room is new and everything is nice and new and you want to have it back the way you gave it to the tenant, you need to be able to prove what condition the property was in. And that is when you need an inventory. And also you should have this inventory before the tenants move in, because otherwise it's not valid. They do need to sign on it. They need to you can send them like another digital request to sign the inventory, acknowledging that all the things that you've mentioned that are inside the room are actually there. Okay, yeah, that's why this is optional. Yeah, so you need to have this in order for you to get the deposit if they break anything. In order to get some money back, you need to have an inventory to prove that they've broken something, and the deposit certificate is mandatory, but it's not mandatory to send it with this email. Okay, so it's much easier for you if you do all of these 5 things in one email than if you do them separately in 5 separate emails. Okay, so that's all you need to know for this section. Thank you for sticking till the end, and let's move on to the next section. I hope you found this useful.